Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. We're back from Gravehold last week with the brand new debut game on the channel this week. Today we're playing Zero Leader from DVG. We featured Hornet Leader from the same group of games on the channel a few times, but this game takes us to the World War II Pacific, and instead of in a squadron of US planes, it puts us in charge of Japanese planes. This will play head games with me today to be on the Japanese side and then back to the US side again, but more on that at the end of this video. Anyway, let's look at our campaign. I got very lucky on this one. So we're going through the Pearl Harbor campaign, and it turns out instead of having to put together a brand new campaign, I actually had an introductory campaign from when I was back learning this game a while ago. So we're going to continue with that campaign. We have taken out Target 25, which was a small dogfight. But as far as the flavor text, feeling that the only chance they had against the US was destroying their fleet in one surprise raid, the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor with no warning. Unfortunately, all the American fleet carriers were at sea. Of course, this is the intro to World War II in the Pacific. And as a note, reduce targets printed appearance bandit and target bandit numbers to 0. Reduce the first target's printed appearance, approach site, and target site numbers to 0. Spend 6 strategic ops points, special ops points, to add target 36 to the target deck. Which we're not going to do that. We didn't do that, so we're going through a 2-day campaign. This will be the second day that we're on. We only get a choice of 1 target and no change on intel as far as the sites are concerned. With that, we can actually meet the squadron that we're going through this campaign with over here. As is typical on a campaign in Zero Leader, or in the Leader series in general, you get a nice wide assortment of skills for the squadron for a campaign. In our case, for a short campaign, we get 1 newbie, 2 green, 3 average, 1 skilled, and 1 veteran pilot. Our newbie pilot is Ueno, who he didn't go out on the first mission. Our green pilots are Miyamoto and Yamazaki. Our average pilots are Shibata, Harada, and Sano. We've also got a nice wide variety of Kates, Zeros, and Vals here as well. Our skilled pilot is Ishikawa, and our veteran is Inoue. So that's our entire squadron. I won't know who we're actually taking out until we see what target we're flying against. But we can now move over to the main game area and check the shot over there. I think this board ended up being a lot bigger than I was expecting, but it should all work out in the grand scheme of things. It maybe just helps everything pop out a little bit better. We'll bring the dice tower. This was one of the fits I was having with this. Where do I put the dice tower? And I think we can put it... I think we can have it in shot right there. I'll bring the dice tower in a little bit. That's going to glare off of the campaign a bit, but I don't think there's any help for that. The glare off the board doesn't seem to be too bad. Maybe adjust that just a touch. I think we're all set to get into this mission, so let's jump in and bear with me. I am still kind of learning this game a little bit. If you've been around the channel for any length of time, you know that I love using these Team Covenant boards when I'm running my campaigns in Arkham Horror, the card game. What I've also discovered in the interim is they're actually great for organizing my Leader series games as well, especially when I'm playing there. So I've got places where I can put all of the chits that I need to keep track of, so I'll be using those as well. Our first order of business here is drawing our target card. Because of our recon level, this is what we're going to be flying against today. We're going into the city center. Oh, this is going to be fun. Secondary and dispersed are keywords we need to be aware of down there. Let's see. Secondary means we could pick something else potentially. Dispersed, there should be no, that's pilot skill. Key terms, here we go. Each air-to-ground munition can inflict more than 1 hit on the target. So it's worth, I believe we can take 3 planes on this one, and the number of hits we need to destroy it. Alright, so Right, so that's our target, which means we need to determine and place our sights. We're going to have 2 sights in the target and 1 bandit. Do we place bandits here as well? Doesn't look like it. So we've got our cup of bandits and sights. We'll draw for our sights. We need 2 in the approach, so we'll draw 2 for that first. Okay. We get a light machine gun and a special sight indicator. Do we not use these in the... Wait, reduce targets, printed approach bandit and target bandit numbers to 0. So we're actually not going to have any bandits there. And I don't think I reduced the... So we don't have any bandits in the city center, which is fortunate. Reduce the first target's printed approach site and target site numbers to 0. I don't think we did that for the first one, so we're going to do it here, which means we actually don't have any sites, right? Reduce the target's printed approach bandit and target bandit sites to 0. Then reduce the first target's printed approach site and target site numbers to 0. Okay, so it looks like we don't have any sites there. Target's printed approach site and target site numbers to 0. Well, that actually would probably make sense because this is basically a surprise attack. So we can take 3 planes here, and we have to determine who we're bringing with us. We're going to probably need air to ground on this one. So, yeah, well, I don't think we get any kind of bonus for this one. We need 3 hits to take it out, though. So I think we're going to take... Who are we going to take? I think we're going to take Ishikawa. We can take up to 3 pilots on this one. So we're going to take Ishikawa, Inoue, and we'll bring Harada with us as well. I'm going under the assumption that we're going to need good air to ground. Okay, so we've determined and placed sites, but everything's reduced to 0 on this one. Then we assign our pilots, which we just did. No kamikaze aircraft and Oka pilots. Now we're going to arm our craft with weight points of 2 on Ishikawa and Harada and 1 on Inoue. Let's see. Drop tank reduces 1 stress when we go evasive, which the only one who can use that is Inoue, and that would be his 1 weight point. Which we're probably not going to need that, given that we don't have any targets here. So we're going to arm him with 2 250s or a 500. Let's give him a 500-pound bomb. As for Ishikawa, we'll give him 2 500-pound bombs. Yeah. And then Harada, I think we'll do... I think Harada will take... Actually, we can inflict more than 1 hit on our dispersed target with each shot. So I think he's going to take 3 500s. Do we have 3 500s remaining, or did we already use them all? We got 2, 3. Okay, so we do have just enough. Okay, so we're all armed. All right, so we draw an event card. We want our target-bound event card on this one. So here we'll find, it'll be the top section. Subtract 2 from one random pilot's maneuvering and attack rolls this mission. All right, so let's see which one we're subtracting from. We've got our D6s over here. Or not D6s, D10s. 1 to 3 will be Ishikawa. 4 to 6 Inoue. 7 to 9 Harada. 10 will be a reroll. That is a 10, so that'll be a reroll. That's a 1, so we'll be hitting Ishikawa with that event. Okay. So now we place our aircraft and choose altitude. Everybody's going to come in this pre-approach area at low altitude. And we have Intel air defense adjustment, but no change because of the level of the meter. Then we draw an over target event. Actually, yeah, we reduce approach bandit and target bandit numbers to 0 because of the note on the Pearl Harbor, the campaign. So over target, now we want the middle section. Here we find, every time a pilot suffers a stress result, roll Divine Spirit. So every time a pilot suffers a stress result, roll. A 2 and under, suffer stress as normal. 3 plus, suffer no stress. Okay, that could be helpful. And then we place the counter to turn 1. So basically we're getting a free shot to walk in on Pearl Harbor here. Then we'll go for turn 1. Dive bombers and kamikaze to low, except we've got none of that. Fast pilots attack, no. Sights and bandits attack, but we don't have anything that we're worried about here. We don't have to worry about evasion. Slow pilots would attack, but they don't here. Aircraft all move. Bandits would move, and then we advance the turn counter to turn 2, and we go do that again. Alright, we go through dive bombers and kamikaze, nothing doing there. Fast pilots would attack, but I think we're all slow. Yep, we're all slow. Sights and bandits would attack, but we don't have any of those. Then slow pilots attack, but nobody can attack. Aircraft moves, which means everybody's going to be over the target now. And then bandits would move, then we advance the turn counter. Dive bombers to low, not happening there. Fast pilots would attack. Sights and bandits would attack, but we don't have any of those. Then slow pilots attack, so now we get to attack. Which means I'll have Ishikawa attack first, and he'll expend one of his 500-pound bombs. He needs a 7 to inflict 1 hit, or a 10 would inflict 2 hits, I believe. I believe that's how that works. But because it's a dispersed attack, we only really care about the 7 or less. Let me double check that. You missed. Okay, yep, that is what I thought. Okay, so we need a 7 and up, basically, to inflict a hit on the city center. That's a 4, so Ishikawa won't inflict a hit. Actually, 4 plus 2 is 6, which still isn't high enough. Inoue will expend his 500-pound bomb. He has a +1 modifier. 4 plus 1 is also 5. No hit there. Then for Harada, taking a shot at the city center as well. He's got a +3 modifier. Which a 4 plus 3 is 7, so that'll be enough to inflict a hit on... the city center. So that's 1 hit there. Then aircraft move, but we're going to stay put there. Bandits would move, and then we advance the turn counter to turn 4. Dive bombers would go to low, but nothing doing there. Fast pilots would attack. None of our pilots are fast. Sights and bandits attack. Slow pilots attack, which means we'll try this again. Ishikawa with a +2 modifier on his attack roll. 3 + 2 is 5, so no hit there. Inoue will use his guns. He's got a +1 modifier, but he needs an 8 to hit. Which a 9 + 1 is 10 will be good for a second hit. We'll see if Harada can drop his 500-pound bomb this time on the city center. Using +3 modifier, we need a modified 7, and we're done here. That's a 9 + 3 is 12, so we inflicted the last hit on the target, which means we are all done here. So that will be, so that was target number 8, which we destroyed. Okay, whoops. So 1 victory point earned, which means now that the target's been flattened, now we can move right to the homebound flight card. So we'll draw, this time we want the bottom section, and here we'll find gain 5 SO points. Not that it's really going to matter for us. We should have been subtracting from Ishikawa, but none of his rolls were hitting anyway. He was not doing much. So we would gain another 5 SO points. But the SO points won't matter for us because we are basically at the end of the campaign. So each of our pilots will suffer 1 stress. Ishikawa, Inoue, and Harada. Alright, record mission outcome. We did all that. Place maintenance needed. Add target stress to all pilots, which was 1 stress. But anything cool, but they recover by their cool. Ishikawa, the only pilot who won't end up recovering his stress is Harada. Because Harada has a cool rating of a 0. Record pilot experience and stress. So that's I believe that's 1 experience, isn't it? There's got to be a way on here to determine how much is based on it's probably based on the victory points. Wait. That's probably going to be in, let's see, that's probably going to be in, give each pilot that flew +1 mission point. So +1, 2, and I think by default we earn 1 experience by default. Okay, that's probably the 1 by default plus 1 is 2. So each of our pilots will pick up 2 experience. Not that it'll matter in the grand scheme of things. Especially since the campaign at this point is now officially over. Promote pilots, which we don't, and allocate maintenance crews, which we won't bother with doing that either. So the campaign at this point is actually over because we had the 2 missions. Unfortunately, because we only had the 2 missions and we only picked up 2 victory points, we did get a dismal campaign. We did get a dismal campaign resolution. So, a little bit disappointing, but nature of the beast with how this game goes sometimes. Sometimes you just don't get the draws you need on the targets. Plus, this is the introductory mission. This is more of a way to help you learn the game than anything. So, I might try this again with a different campaign, with the longer campaign. But it's again very short mission, but that will do it for this playthrough of Zero Leader. Also kind of served as a good test for me to see what the game looks like on the channel. We are still going to be very busy coming up on the channel. Tomorrow we'll have Game 1 of the NLCS in the 1991 playoffs and payoff pitch baseball between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Los Angeles Dodgers. I believe give me a minute and I can tell you who the starting pitchers are going to be for that game. I'll have to go into my box to get the score sheets out, but I believe they're in. No. Actually, it will kind of be in here. So Mike Morgan will be going for the Dodgers, and Doug Drabeck will be going for the Pirates in Game 1. Sunday we'll be back to the American side of the World War in the Pacific as we play Mag 23 Guadalcanal from Historic Wings. That'll be a Sunday video for the first time, and I'm hoping for multiple missions, ideally all of week 2, but I'll play that very much by ear. Next week we're starting Space Month on the channel with a game of Star Realms. As for Mystical Munchies, Saturday we'll be cooking our last recipe for the month out of the Fallout Official Vault Dwellers Cookbook as we make the drink Deezer's Lemonade. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.